Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. And today I have a tag. I have a very special tag. It is the best books you have never heard of tag. So thank you to Shannon over at That Suppo for tagging me in this because it's gonna be really fun. Shannon's link I will post a link to Shannon's video down below, and I will also post the original tag video. So let's get started. This tag is all about talking about books that are not so well known, because a lot of times in recommendations, you get people recommending the same books over and over again, and it's important to read things that aren't always being talked about, because a lot of what gets a lot of hype, gets a lot of publicity is determined by publishers, because they're paying for that publicity and then create hype around it that then grows. Whereas there are really good books that just don't have a huge marketing budget, and they are very worth talking and reading as well. So I'm going to get started with the tag questions. The first one is, are there many books that you've read that are below 250 ratings, below 100, and below 25? So not a ton of books on my Goodreads. We're using Goodreads for this. And by the way, the original tag video shows you how to go into Goodreads and look this up. So I'm looking at my Goodreads. Part of the problem is I haven't been tracking my reading on Goodreads for that long. For at least 2.5 years I have. So this is a rather limited list. And the other problem with my Goodreads list is that I don't have all of my academic books on here, because as I look at this list, a lot of my academic books are on here. The ones that I have actually put in the system, and I'm like, yeah, okay, they're not going to be that widely read. I do have, like, the book here with the lowest number of ratings is a book that I'm going to be talking about this week, Venus Noir, 7 ratings. I have a book with 10 ratings, 79, 99, 103, 109, 184. So okay, yeah, I have quite a few. This is a good thing though, but it also means I need to talk about some of these books a little bit more. Question number 2 is, how did you hear about the most obscure books you read? So one, a lot of these are academic books, so they're books that are related to my research and my teaching, and are not works of fiction. They're not fiction. The works of fiction that I have on this list, I heard about them through Twitter. Oftentimes following authors and listening to their recommendations, because they know of certain authors that are not going to get a ton of publicity, but they know each other and they are promoting each other's work. So yeah, like a lot of the books on this list are books that were recommended by other authors on Twitter. Number 3, what are some of your favorite unknown, under 250 rating books that you've read, and why should more people read them? Okay, this is fun. So the first book I want to talk about is a novella, and it is One Night More, a Hotel Arroyo novella by Sabrina Soul. So Sabrina Soul I found on Twitter through other romance writers, and I haven't read a whole bunch of her stuff, which actually reminded me to go in and read some of her other full-length books. But One Night More is a short story, a short novella, and it has 2 Latinx characters who meet, and they have a one-night stand, and then find out that the hero of the story is putting in a contract. He's bidding for a contract at the heroine's hotel where she works and manages, and it's a huge conflict of interest that they've had sex. And I really like this story because you go, even in a novella, you have time to see how important family is to both of these people, how important their careers are, and it's just, and the 2 characters have good chemistry. So I really liked it, and I definitely want to read more by Soul. Another novella on here, so maybe it's novellas that are my lesser known books here, is the infamous Miss Rodriguez, A Ciudad Real novella by Linda San Andres. Linda San Andres writes books, historical romances set in the Caribbean. I definitely want to read more by her. And I know she's a very promising writer because she's like early in her career. And I know she just got a master's in New York because I follow her on Twitter. And this one was really cute. I didn't give it a rating on Goodreads because I wanted more. This was actually one of those novellas that was too short. I was like, this needed to have been a full-length book. It's about a wealthy girl. I forgot where in the Caribbean she is, but she is has an arranged marriage, and she's trying to escape this arranged marriage, and she finds this guy who she convinces to marry her, love ensues. And then lastly, I see on here that some of my Vanessa Riley books don't have a lot of ratings on Goodreads, and I will be having a full video talking just about Vanessa Riley and her advertisements for love series. But those are books that are, if you're into historical romance, are worth checking out, looking at, and seeing if the tropes fit your likes, because she is a worthwhile author to know about. All right, next question in the tag is any other thoughts? For example, do you think the most popular books you've read are usually better than the least popular ones? No, because actually if I do a reverse on this and look at the most popular books I've read, it gets redundant to talk about them. Actually, let me do it. Let me put on here and reverse the list and see what are the most popular books I've read. The Hunger Games, Pride and Prejudice, oh, The Girl on the Train. Okay, so see, the classics are all going to have tons of ratings, but then some more modern popular books like The Girl on the Train, like I like that one, but there's better books out there. 50 Shades of Grey, I do like 50 Shades of Grey. Me Before You, I would actually lower the rating now. All the Light We Cannot See, I liked that one. But see, like, those are books that, like, you're gonna hear about regardless, and that's great. Some of those books deserve my attention, but there's also a ton of books that don't get that same kind of advertisement and that deserve even more attention because they can be really, really brilliant. Further thoughts on this is that I also need to, and one of the things that I am starting to do now is talk more about the academic books that I read and doing reviews of them on Goodreads, so that I can contribute to, you know, more people finding out about them. Like, unfortunately, that's how it works, right? Like, Goodreads, as flawed a site as it is, it can contribute a lot to whether a book gets attention or not. Right. And by the way, if you're not following me on Goodreads, Goodreads does not make it easy to find people on here. But I do, like, as soon as I start reading a book, I update my Goodreads so that it's also a good way to see what I'm currently reading. And I love it when people like update their Goodreads because it was nice to just see what they're reading. I know a lot of people don't actually go in and put in ratings because the rating system on Goodreads is so terrible. Like, why can't we do half stars? Anyways, that's a redundant conversation. But do you want to read more obscure books? Yes. I love finding a book that hasn't gotten a lot of attention and like talking about it. It's great. And question number 5 is, who do you tag? Anyone that wants to do it. I hate, because I feel like, okay, there's going to be somebody out there that wants to do this tag, and I'm not going to remember to tag them. So like, I always, plus I get a little bit, I still get a little bit of anxious about like the politics of tagging people, even though I love getting tagged. You know who I think would have two people that I think would have good, like, lesser known books on here is Cousin over at Always Doing, and Priscilla at Bookie Charm. I think the two of them, and I don't know if they've been tagged for this yet, but I think the two of them are two of the people on YouTube that I know, like, are not afraid of reading books that are less well known, and like, do a good job, I think, of reading some of these lesser known books. So that is it for me. Let me know. Okay, if you guys want to do this, like even if you don't want to do a video on it, go to Goodreads, or if you use Goodreads. And what you do is, you know, you go to the books you've read, and then you scroll to the bottom, and there's a little scroll down bar where you go down to num ratings, right? So it's going to sort books by the number of ratings they have. And then you click on the button that says ASC, so that it sorts them in ascending order. And then you'll have the least well-known books that you have read on Goodreads. And tell me which is your most least well-known book you've read. Tell me that. Or if you don't use Goodreads, just tell me what is one of these books that you think is really good and that doesn't get enough attention, and you would like to bring some attention, because maybe it's time for it to go on my TBR. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.